Hey, fellow Aquas, how y'all doing? Welcome. We are going to be taking a look at your upcoming February through March, your Imbolc season, general reading here. Firstly, a very happy continued birthday season to us all. I want to get right into this. Yeah, happy birthday, now down to business. um, I want to start by saying that this season that we are in the Northern Hemisphere, and flip it if you're in the South, but in the Northern Hemisphere, we're looking at the time of Imbolc, right? You're looking at the time of Lammas if you're in the Southern Hemisphere. But both very similar messages, just sort of on the opposite side of the coin. So the season of Imbolc is when we are slowly walking back into the light time, right? It's the returning of the light, the slow return of the light. It's also about the season of the spark, right? It's about those sparks of inspiration that we have within and around us that, should we choose to fan it, should we choose to nurture it, should we want it at all, can turn into a flame that really lights our course to go through right through the springtime into the rest of the year, into the heat of the year, into the belly of the year, right? Into mid-season at midsummer. So it's sort of like, let's get this spark going, and then it's going to be a flame, then it's going to be like, boom, off where it's really, really on energetically, right? So it's really interesting, given that how this reading is coming across. So in your meditation, I saw the image of the Queen of Pentacles as it is depicted in Leeza Robertson's Animal Totem Tarot. And in that image, in that deck, it's shown as a pig, a really happy pig, like a pig, like happy as a pig in, mud. Just laying in mud with a smile on its face, and it's got the crown on, it's just rolling around. And it's this energy of just completion and satisfaction with being where you are, with gratitude for what you have, and thus, manifesting more to be grateful for from that space. And then I saw this image of this pig sort of turn into stone and become one of those above ground mausoleum things. I don't know exactly what it's called. Let me know in the comments, y'all. It's driving me nuts, but I don't want to go to Google and distract myself. It's sort of like that above ground stone, like, in Lord of the Rings, where Aragorn, like the Liv Tyler and her dad, like Arwen sees like that image of Aragorn being dead and that stone like coffin above ground. It's the image of him on top. Like, let me know in the comments if you even know what I'm talking about. But it was that, but it was the Queen of Pentacles in the pig form. And then I saw the Aquarian Collective kind of looking at this and then walking off, and it felt like a very like dark wintry landscape. Like there were no leaves on the trees. It was very, very still. And I saw it walking, and I heard that song. I don't really know what it's called, but it's like, remember, remember, just you and me, remember. It's like something like that. And it felt like we were really sort of kind of in a strange stasis, like a time stasis. Walking, 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 and then seeing this huge, like larger than life clock. And it was set at dead noon, but I think it was probably more midnight. And then I saw the Aquarian Collective walking along this, like next to a train track, and the train was going the other way, but instead of getting on it, it was just walking the other way. And what's really interesting about this time stasis that I'm picking up on, the first thing that I want to say is, and you're going to understand this being an Aquarian. As Aquarians, we speak our own language. We see things in a way that others don't. Because we're visionaries. We just have a unique take on something that helps us to see something from a different vantage point. We're more often than not very ahead of our time. So, sometimes the way that we communicate our jokes land, and other times it's just like, that's why we are known as the aliens of the zodiac, right? I don't know if you've ever heard that, but that's our reputation. The aliens of the zodiac, right? And the thing that, is coming to me around that is, if someone or something is not speaking your language, pay it no mind. Because there's really something about this time that feels very, I don't want to say solitary, but it's like, I'm just feeling very Lord of the Rings for this reading for some reason. You know how the ring bearer, like how the ring bearer like has to go it alone. He doesn't really, because he's got Samwise, but there's that idea of, to be a ring bearer is to be alone. That's what Galadriel says to Frodo, to be a ring bearer is to be alone. There's something about needing to block out, or advice about blocking out the noise, blocking out a lot of heavy emotion, opinions, directives from other people, because they're on the train that's going this way. And there's something that's calling you in another direction that just feels like it's really, really important that you go your own way right now, because there's a metamorphosis happening within you and around you, I have to say, that just feels like there's only room for one in this cocoon that I'm picking up on, and it just feels too dang important to delay or not lean into. You're going to feel this instinctively. You're going to know what I'm talking about. It's like, I'm feeling like not partaking in that group activity. I'm feeling like, maybe lessening the client load so that I can take some time on my own. I'm feeling like, there's a sense of returning to your roots as well, kind of looking back on something through that scientific eye that we're so good at. I also feel like there's this really great sense of being required to let certain things go, allow them to end for what is coming next. It's just, you can't take all of it with you to this path that you are forging ahead on before anybody else is even aware that it's a path. I know that sounds, but that's very much how this is coming through. You are like the Lewis and Clark of this situation. Your footsteps are going to be the first ones on this path. It's not paved already for you. It's not been cleared, right? Already, a path in the woods. This is something that you are creating because you're sniffing it out on your own, and your intuition is going, I'm feeling the need, like I'm seeing something before other people do. I'm picking up on something, and so I've just got to go this way and let others catch up to me when it's time. How that manifests is going to be different for different people, but it just feels so uniquely Aquarian. The animal energy for this time makes a lot of sense. It's butterfly. So this is about metamorphosis. It's about change, but it's also about, understanding that in order for something new to begin, sometimes we really do have to be willing to say goodbye to either an aspect of ourselves, something that we believed in, that maybe we got to shift our perspective around, shift our belief in, or even being so open to radical change that we are walking in trust that the winds are going to blow us exactly where we're meant to be. It's sort of like a free fall, but in a really beautiful way. That's what butterfly energy is really all about. It's about, can you trust the winds of change to direct you to exactly where you're meant to be? Because there is change in the air, my friends. You are going to feel this. I'm telling you, definitely internally, but I also feel that there's going to be some external signs around this and some opportunities that it's a little bit, and I say this with all the love in the world, there's certain aspects of this that are so for your own good and for your own greatness, I want to say. It's not for your own good, it's for your own greatness, where it's like move or be moved. An example. Let's say that something happens that on the surface seems inconvenient or unwelcome. Like, let's say you're renting a house and, the landlord decides to sell it and you have to move and you have, 30 days to do it. That on the surface is a huge pain. It's just, oh my God, we're fixed signs. We hate change anyway. And that just, it's like affecting our home. And you can't imagine, the stress of it, right? But it turns out to where you end up moving to is just exactly where you never dreamt you could be so happy there. And it's opened you up to a whole new world where you've so elevated in your life circumstances and you're feeling that you want to kiss that landlord's feet. You're so happy that they inconvenienced you that way. It's something like that. But as an Aquarian, you have the ability, and this is another thing I want to say, because I saw the image of the high priestess, which is about intuition and seeing hidden things with like embedded carved within that clock structure set at midnight. You have an ability to see through the surface area of something, see through the surface view into what's really going on. You can see the clockwork. You can open that back of that clock, that watchtower tower, and see all the gears working and have a sense of something just intuitively. You don't have to even make sense of it right away, but have a sense of something where you're going, this is actually, I might not, like this on the surface, but this is such a functional act of the divine that is for my greatness that I can roll with it and jump without a net. I have shivers. That's what this feels like. I also feel like there's a part of you or part of what you're going to do or have a choice to do. It's going to be leading the way for other people. That feels incredibly important by example or otherwise. It's like investing in something before it becomes really popular and you were the first to do it. It's like really breaking ground, like Lois and Clark, right? Okay. You are coming through is the Five of Pentacles. So this makes a lot of sense. Five is the number of change. So this is feeling apart from or outside of where you want to be or what you desire. But guess what? This is a minor arcana, which means you can shift this, right? You can either be Tiny Tim or you can find you the most fashionable wrap and wrap it around your body and, runway walk yourself through this snowy period. That's what it is. It's really a choice. But I really, really get this strong feeling. There's something about this time stasis or something about this period that is going to reveal itself more as time goes by. It just feels like it's the setup for something. It's the transition towards something. Pay very close attention to the intuitive insights and ideas that you get during this time, because I think some of them are going to be actually gold. Actually gold. There's something about that. Where is your focus? What are you paying attention to? There's something about this. It's like I'm hearing like, look over here. Like synchronicities trying to get your attention. Like there's something look over here. There's an opportunity here. I do feel like change it's just here. It's all over the reading. There's a lot of change going on. There's a lot of change coming up for you. Your response to it and how you choose to dance with that change is going to directly influence your experience of it. Okay. Your challenge is Ten of Swords. This makes a lot of sense because this is about endings and allowing things to end, right? We are the swords, right? We are the mind. And the fact that this is coming up is a challenge as well because we're fixed signs, which means we like change for the masses, like good change, like humanitarian change for the people. But when it comes to like personal change, it's a bit like, if we're not the ones facilitating it, it can be a little bit hard to take to swallow. Yeah. So I really feel like for some of you, there's going to be a choice to move or change career or end an aspect of a relationship so that it can change into something else, change the structure around something, change an investment, the way that it comes. There's something that is really, really important that you stay tapped into your intuition so that you can see the clockwork behind what is happening beneath the surface area. It's really, really important. You have the superpower to do this. So instead of reacting to something as it appears on the surface level, like a muggle would do, you are not a muggle. You are a magical alien Aquarius person, and you are able to open the back of that clock and look at what's actually going on. And go, oh, no, this is for my greatness. This is for my greatness. I have shivers and I'm feeling a bit emotional as well. It's very Aquarian. It's like, objectively, intellectually, I can say that there is some emotion. But I feel emotion. There's going to be some emotion around whatever this is, which leads us right into the advice, Queen of Cups. If there was ever a time to connect to your feelings, Aquarians, really look into your moon signs is what I'm hearing. Whatever your moon sign is dictates how you process like emotional information or how you emotionally process yourself like through your life, how you emotionally move about, also what your emotional needs are. So whatever your moon sign is, you can find that out for free online. Just, go to the Google. That is going to help you through this time. Look at what the needs of your moon sign are, and that's your advice for this time. Nurture yourself around that, and it's going to help keep your Aquarian in its powerful and rightful position at the forefront of your experience, as opposed to that moon sign, those emotions kind of taking over, because it's a heavy, chaotic time. And as humanitarians, when we hurt for the world. We hurt for the effing world. So it's really, really important to stay grounded and to stay somewhat logical and really understand that there's only, so much that you can do. But as long as you're doing it, staying true to what feels right to you, you pave the path ahead. Remember how Gandalf, I don't know why this is so Lord of the Rings-esque, but we're going to go with it. Remember how Gandalf kept on disappearing all the time, like throughout the films, like all the films, he would just go off and do his own thing and be like, no, I need to go research this. No, I need to go talk to this person. And then it was like, like, where does he keep going off to? That's what this feels like this time is for you. Allow yourself to go off to where you need to go off to. It matters in ways that, again, directly relate to your greatness. There's something about that, okay? Nobody knows better than you do what you need during this time more than you, period. Victory is the tower. This is big change. This is like fast, quick change, life change. The fact that this is coming in a place of victory with the Scorpio energy, which is also about endings and beginnings, really says to me that you are allowing for a complete infrastructure change within your circumstances, also and or internally, that where you end up, which is rather the point here, your outcome is the Page of Cups, water. You go through fire and flame, it's like Gandalf did, right, to become Gandalf the White. 10 swords in your bat, metamorphosis to the Page of Cups. Fresh, new energy, fresh ideas. You're introducing something to yourself into the world that it needs, that is new, a new way of seeing something, a new way of moving, a new relationship with an aspect of yourself, a new relationship in general. This is about loving what you do and looking at life through the lens of a child, where your focus is on the things that really matter in the present moment, as opposed to projecting yourself needlessly into the future or into the past, or scattering your attention so much because you are so overly focused on things that don't matter as much as your purpose and how you're grounding into your current embodiment, right? This is where you end up here. I feel like you could really end up somewhere where, and I'm just going to say it, I feel like it sounds like a bit cliche or trite, but this outcome, if I had to put a word to this, it just feels like happiness. These things happening for your greatness is also going to lead you to a place of like extreme happiness. But do you notice how there's like, it seems there's just the cup and then like the seal here, and there's not much going on. There's not much clutter in this, right? There's a lot of clutter, there's a lot of imagery here. This only happens if you are willing to let certain things end. If you're willing to move away from the busy train station and go out through an untrodden path in the woods somewhere. There's something about that for you. I would also say what could be quite helpful with that is really follow the love. What gets you going every day where you could do it for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, never get paid for it, didn't matter what happened with it, or if anyone else even knew about it, that you would just do because you truly love it? Who would you spend all the time in the world with, never get sick of them? You know what? I would even say as an Aquarian, who do you spend time with whose company that you like just as much as your own? Now that, that is a big clue. As Aquarians, we're famous for loving our own company the most, and whoever we choose to really like spend our time with, like our intimate, hours where it's like that really like precious time. We like their company as much as our own, not more than. I don't think that's a thing, but as much as our own. Then it's like, okay, if I like your company as much as I like being with myself, okay, well then you can stick around. I've shivers as I say that. Look at your life and your experiences as you go through this Marie Kondo, choosing joy and releasing what no longer sparks joy situation that we're looking at here. I feel like that's an oversimplification, but there we are. Consider looking at it through the lens of, where do I feel the love in my life? Where do I feel the love of what I do? How does that translate? Where do I feel the love of how I spend my time? Where do I feel the love of with whom I spend my time? That, I feel like that's a little bit of like a shortcut key to work through this period, where you have moments where you're going like, ugh, I'm in the slog of things, or I have to make a decision that really matters. Follow the love of it, not the fear of it, because it just feels like there's something in that can help you in those moments where you need a little bit of a perspective shift or a little bit of a helping hand, moments of clarity. Really root out the love of something, and that's going to help you align with that whole thing that's happening for your greatness. It's sort of like your compass. It's a love compass, as trite as that sounds. Don't tell anyone I said the word love compass. Words, love compass. Your oracle here is Consecrate Tools number 16. This is your Imbolc oracle. I will claim what is mine, what I see beyond the hidden. Gifted spirit, by tongue, my words spill with purpose. Oh, fabulous. Look at this. I will claim what is mine, what I see beyond what is hidden. Gifted spirit, by tongue, my words spill with purpose. is this not the most Aquarian thing in the entire universe? It's like being alone with like a unicorn skull and your little tools and your books and your candles and your whole, runway gown situation here. This is very much about committing to your path and committing to what matters to you and standing tall within your own integrity. That's also something that's going to help you navigate through the sort of the winter snow aspect of this time is going, okay, if I'm choosing my integrity at any and all times, then I can also filter that through how I respond to things instead of react about my choices. When everyone around you may be going through moments of chaos or looking at the glass, half empty instead of half full or whatever have you, really being affected by the outward chaos going on, you have the power and the ability to stay anchored into your own intuition by seeing what is, beyond the hidden, as this says, really looking at the back of that clock and being able to perceive things through the lens of this is actually happening for a greater reason. So I don't have to freak out about this. That's it. I'm telling you, as an Aquarius, if you're watching this and you are an Aquarian sun sign, you are here because this is what you're meant to grow into. You have this ability inherent within you. If you're watching this and you're an Aquarian moon or an Aquarian rising, this is also going to resonate with you, but it might be something that you need to sort of pull upon and educate yourself around a little bit more closely. If you are here as an Aquarian sun, this is your mission. To be able to see beyond what is hidden, to be able to expand that view so that you can understand the greater workings of something. Because you need to be able to do that in order to lead the way and set the example. That's it. If you're here as an Aquarian, that's what it is, right? So especially given that this is, our birthday season and all, I think this is actually really, really timely. Because if there was ever an opportunity to go inward and really embrace that stillness, it would be in this time before we're going into the, second quarter of the year and sort of speeding ahead with everything that's to come, right? So prioritize what really matters to you, where the love is, stay rooted in your integrity, and don't be fooled by how things appear. You know better than that, and you have the superpower to see beyond that. Open the back of that clock and look at the gears. Stunning, because where you're going to with this Page of Cups here, it's elevation and it's for your greatness and ultimately for your happiness. Very, 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 very exciting. So with that being said, my fellow Aquas, I so hope that this helps and resonates. Please let me know in the comments below. I love, love, love reading comments from my fellow Aquas. Let me know what's going on. Give me a like, a follow, a subscribe, all of that good stuff. I'm wishing you guys, us, the happiest of birthday seasons. And with that being said, most of all, and as always, just thank you so, so much for being here. And also, we have some exciting announcements coming up too. I told you that I have a book coming out this year. I have something else coming out this year that I can't wait to tell you about. So stay tuned here. I'm going to be announcing things and pre-orders very, very soon. And most of all, thank you for being you, Aquarius. And be well. Until next time.